Hi, and welcome to Math 0200 Algebra 2. My name is Richard Uchida, and I'll be your instructor for the course. Now, I wanted to give you a little introduction to the course and show you where all the basics of the course are located. So first, let's go to the eLearn course shell. So clicking on the Math 200 course. So this is the home page. And going to the content area. Now, the first thing is that when you go to the content area, these weekly folders will not be visible for you until you complete the course overview survey. After you've read through the material in the course overview, then you take the survey. And then once you get 100% on that, then all the weekly folders will open up for you. Now, in the course overview, let's go over a few basic things. First is the syllabus. Again, this is Algebra 2, Math 0200. Now, the required text that you need for the course, there's two options. Well, one is that you buy the textbook bundled with the MyMathLab Access Kit. And another option you can do is you could just get the MyMathLab Access Kit by itself. It's up to you. If you want to have the physical textbook, the MyMathLab Access gives you access to an ebook version of the textbook as well. So it's up to you which way you want to do that. And then you also will need a webcam for the course because they'll be required for your exams. And then you'll need a four-function or a scientific calculator. Now for the webcam, if you don't have one, then and you don't have the funds to purchase one, which is fine, you can borrow one from Sinclair, and I'll be sending out the link for the form that you fill out to go to the main campus and borrow one. Now, one thing, if you need to do that, make sure to do that as soon as possible because you will need it for the exams. And I think the first exam is in the third week of the semester, so you don't want to wait for that. Okay, some contact information for me. I don't know why I wrote my name as Richard.Uchida. Yeah. But my email address is richard.uchida@sinclair.edu. That is the best way to get a hold of me. There's also my office phone number. I will be checking my voicemail regularly, but I'm teaching all online this semester. So my virtual office hours are Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday from 9:30 to 10:30. But I also know that not everybody can make it at those times. So you could also make an appointment so we could set up another time to meet on those days. We could set up a Zoom appointment and just give me a day or two notice beforehand. And some basic information about what we cover in the course. Now, the way the grades are determined, the first exam is worth 25% of the grade, the second exam is 25%, the final exam is 30%, so there's 3 exams, and the MyMathLab homework and quizzes are worth 20% of the grade. And the grading scale is your basic 90, 80, 70, 60% grading scale for the A, B, C's, D's, and F's. Now for the tests are done online, and but they're using an online proctor system called Respondus Monitor, which requires you to download a lockdown browser and also uses the webcam to monitor you while you're taking your exams. So again, that's why don't wait to get the webcam if you don't already have one. Okay, now the next thing in the course overview section is the when assignments are due page, and this is actually in some ways the most important thing. This has all the due dates for all of the assignments. So if you see, the very first assignment is due on this Wednesday, or Wednesday the first week of the semester, and then the next two are due on Friday. They're very related to each other, and then there's another assignment due on Sunday. So again, this is an 8-week course, so we do work at a very fast pace for the course. And so you see, okay, for week 2, there's one due on Wednesday, one due on Friday, one due on Sunday. And those are all done on MyMathLab, including the exam 1 review assignment, and then exam 1 that's due on the Wednesday of the 3rd week, but it'll actually be available from the Sunday before to that Wednesday. So you have a 4-day window to take the exam. Same thing for the second exam and the same thing for the final exam. So, and one thing, all of the other assignments, those are all available from the very beginning of the semester. So you can always work ahead, which I always highly recommend students do if they can. Okay, next, let's see. Well, there's a welcome from my instructor, and there's other material for you to go over. But I just wanted to not to keep this video short as possible. So now in the weekly folders, there's additional material for each section. There's additional video resources and stuff we've made. But honestly, about everything else is located in the MyMathLab course shell. Now, one thing that is located in here is, let's say for week 3, when you take the exam, when you do the exams are going to be through MyMathLab, but so you'll complete the exam there. But when you're taking your exam, you'll be writing your work down on pieces of paper and make sure it's neatly organized, like I see which one's 1, 2, 3. And what you'll do is you'll submit that work in the Dropbox. Now, the way you could do it is you could use an app like Genius Scan. It's GENIUSSCAN. It's an app available for both iPhones and um, uh, Android phones. And what you could do is when you're in that app, take pictures of your work and save it as a single PDF file. And that file you'll upload in the Dropboxes. Like you see, click upload, and then you'll upload that file into the Dropboxes immediately after you've completed the exam. And I do mean immediately right after you completed the exam. Because one of the main things is that it does allow for partial credit on the exams, and for many students, well, not many, but for some students, that partial credit has made big differences in their grades. So you need to do that, otherwise there is no partial credit on the exams. Okay, so that's how you'll submit your work for the exams. But now, like I said, everything else is on the MyMathLab course shell. Now I'm going to send out the instructions for how to register, like say the website that you go to, and then it gives you the course ID on the registration instructions, and then you'll follow the instructions. So going to the link, clicking on the registration link for students, and then you'll go through the process where first it'll have you sign into, if you already had a MyMathLab account, and if not, you create one. You just need a username, email address, and a password. And then once you do that, you enter the course ID, which is on those registration instructions I'll send out. It's like my last name and 5 digits. And then once you do that, then you'll enter either your payment options, which is one, either that access code from the access kit that you get from the bookstore, or one thing, if you purchase it from the bookstore, on that eCampus link website, that there's this digital bookshelf, and that's where you'll find the access code for the MyMathLab course. So you'll enter that if you purchase that. You can also purchase your access directly from the MyMathLab website. You can use a credit card, or I believe you can use PayPal. And then one thing to note about that, though, if you are using your financial aid to purchase your textbooks, then I believe you have to get it from the bookstore to use your financial aid. And then if you don't have the funds yet, then you can use MyMathLab's free 14-day temporary access. Now, everybody can use that, so that's why there's no excuse for anybody to not get the assignments done on time. So, at least because of that. So everybody has access to the MyMathLab course right away. And then once you do one of those options, then you're registered for the course. And if you do use the temporary access, once you have purchased your permanent access, you'll just go in and enter your access code. And then, let's see, once you've registered, then you'll see it in your MyMathLab. I have a lot of them because I teach a lot of courses, but it'll look like this. I think it's the math, 205A0 for 2021. So we'll go in there. And let's see, let me manage the view so it'll be not that one, sorry. So as a student. So this is what it'll look like when you sign in. And so you'll see, okay, here it says, okay, on the 25th you have your 5.1 assignments due. Then on the 27th you have your 5.2 and 5.3 assignments due. So to get to your assignments, actually before that, let's say if you want to go to your textbook, click on the e-text contents, and let's see, we start off on, was it 5? Yeah, chapter 5. So then you could click on each section, and then to look at the textbook, you click the view the textbook or view the e-text. You could also watch a video presentation on each one of the sections has video presentations for it. And there's even some bonus videos for some of the sections. But that's how you access the e-textbook version of the textbook. And then once you've read the textbook, the section, then you go to your assignments. And so you see for each assignment set, there's first the lessons that you got to do. The lessons consist of a video and then a problem or two. You got to watch the video first, then the problem links will become active, and then you could do the problem. And then once you do that, then you go into the next one. And one thing, you got to do them in order. And then once you've done the lessons, then you'll have access to the homework assignment. So again, you see you must do the previous lesson to access this. Now, since I'm the instructor, I can bypass that. And then you go into the homework, and you see this first one has 25 problems. And now one other thing to note is you must score at least an 80% on the homework before you could do the quiz for the section. And that's true for every single section. You gotta score at least an 80% on the homework. Obviously, the best, you always want to try to score 100% if you can. And just clicking on a problem. So you go in here, do the problems. It's a very simplistic math palette that you use, like to make a fraction, you would use this and the other tools. It shows you usually only things that you may need to use, but you may not also need to use them as well. But like if you needed like a exponent, like you put x and then click this, and then you do the superscript to get like the exponent. And if you need any additional help, there's none of these help features as well. There's this help me solve this, view an example, and then for even more help, there's a video for that section, the link to the textbook section. There's also this Ask My Instructor. Now, once you've tried all those other ones and you still can't seem to get a problem, you could click on this Ask My Instructor, and what you'll do is you'll send an email. You could write say, hey, can you help me solve this one, and any other information you need. But it'll also send me a link to the exact problem you're working on, so I can see the exact numbers and everything of your problem, because not everybody's looks the same. And you can send me that, and I'll reply to it as soon as I can. So, so those are how you do your homework assignments. And then once, like I said, you get an 80% or above on the homework, then you're ready to do the quiz. Now, one thing is, for the homework, you can do it late. There will be a 20% penalty for any questions done after the due date. But it is still possible for you to raise your grade. But one thing, the quizzes, you cannot do past the due date. So you can't get credit for the homework after the due date, but for the quizzes, you cannot. Now, the quizzes, as you see, the quizzes are, you have 3 attempts and they're timed, so they're 30 minutes. Now, the other difference for the quiz will be none of those help features will obviously be available. So that's how you do your MyMathLab homework sections. And this is what you do for each section. So this is the assignment set for section 5.1, similar for 5.2, then for 5.3, and so on. And then there's the exam 1 review assignment. And I put this practice test here. Now the practice test is a way for you could click on that and it'll allow you to download the lockdown browser, and it's to practice using the lockdown browser and the webcam. It's not actually to help you with prepare for exam 1. That's what that exam 1 review assignment is for. It's more for you to get comfortable using the lockdown browser. That way, you're used to it when you take the actual exams. And then when it comes time for the exams, you click on this, and then you'll take the exam again with the lockdown browser. One thing for every single test, when you take the test, you'll want first you want your picture ID because you got to show your picture ID up to your webcam so I could clearly see the face and your name on your ID, so I can make sure that you are the one taking the exam. And you also want something to write with, blank paper to write on, and a scientific calculator. That's it. That's all you're allowed during the test. And then you see, so you have 75 minutes for this exam, and you have only the 1 attempt. The exams are just like the quizzes, except again, there are more questions on the exams. I'll be sending out information about the exams beforehand, so you know the types of questions on the exams. So this is how you do all your homework, quizzes, and your exams. And for checking your grades, we do use the MyMathLab gradebook. So you click on the student gradebook, and it's not going to look the same for me, but that's where you'll see your grades for all of your assignments. So yeah, so that's this course. So if you have any questions, don't be afraid to email me. And again, if you need more than just an email, we could set up a either meet me during my regular office hours, or we could set up another appointment as well. And I hope you all have a successful semester. And I'll be talking to you guys later. And again, make sure that you're checking your emails because I will be sending out emails multiple times throughout the week. Because again, this is a 8-week class. You do not want to fall behind. So again, I will be sending out reminders and emails and other information throughout the term. So, like I said, have a good semester.